Hi, Kenny Weiss here, coach and speaker. And today I want to talk about what to do when a sales call goes horribly wrong. And I posted this morning on Facebook, as I'll do quite often, asking people, is something going on in their life they want help with? And I got a private message from somebody, and they asked not to divulge who they are and stuff, but they did say I could read excerpts of what they sent me. So I want to give you a little framework and read part of this, and then I want to get into what you can do about it. So it goes, in part, it goes, "Hi Kenny, I'd love to know your thoughts on fear leading to call reluctance," meaning sales call reluctance. "I was embarrassed in front of a client several months ago. Since that point, I've been unable to even leave my car to make cold calls. It's been a struggle to even call on accounts that I currently have. And then having to reschedule and set new appointments, even picking up the phone to do that, has been nearly impossible. I've gotten to the point where I'm considering completely leaving sales and starting a whole new career. Is there any advice you can provide me to get back in the saddle, or do I really not have the mental makeup to be a sales professional?" Man, that last part just breaks my heart, and it makes me angry too. It makes me hurt for them. That mentality, the just do it crowd, the just get back in the saddle crowd, the reason they say that is because they're in so much pain they don't know what to do. And so they're in massive, massive denial. And so they say, just do it. And in the process of just doing it, they push away all their pain. You see it, incredibly so-called successful people, meaning they've made money, but their whole life's a disaster because they've just done it. They've gotten in the saddle, but in the process, they've destroyed marriages, families, everything in their life to just do it. That mentality is killing us. It goes back years. I could get into the science of it, and World War I and II veterans, how they came back and were taught and treated and everything, and how it's permeated our society. The reality is every single one of us has been through massive trauma. Massive. And if you don't think so, that's denial, because no one's taught you. And so to survive it, you've said, oh, no. I mean, I run into it all the time with clients. Oh, no, childhood was great. I asked 2 questions. And the next thing you know, they were abused in this way, and this way. But to survive the trauma, because we weren't given the tools, we justify it. We just do it and get in the saddle. So first of all, the first step is recognizing that mentality is not yours. And here's where that mentality comes from. That person who wants to tell you, just get over it or get back in the saddle, they're doing it from a place of their own trauma, because they don't know, they're in denial, so they're placing that on you. So what that helps you do is a couple things. One, it helps you to forgive yourself, because now you can separate. Because what happened in this environment, whenever someone humiliates you, what they've done is they've taken their own trauma that they haven't dealt with and they've dumped it onto you. That's what happened in this environment. You got infected with stuff they haven't dealt with because no one's taught them. And so they gave it to you. And so now you're confused. You get in a sales call, you can't be you. You've split from yourself because you're basically carrying somebody else's trauma. That's how it works. Our parents do it to us. They weren't taught, so they pass it down, and we pass it down to our friends, spouses, because none of us want to talk about feelings. Yet we're screaming. We're screaming to talk about feelings. So that's the first thing. Recognize this person dumped their trauma into you. What that allows you to do is separate out and go, oh, well, this isn't mine. This is their stuff. So now I can forgive me, because you're sitting here thinking you don't have the mental makeup. It has nothing to do with that. You're making that this is your problem. You're carrying somebody else's. So you can separate that out. That allows you to also forgive them for doing it to you, because you recognize they're just hurt like me. They didn't know what else to do. So they dumped their junk into me. So that's the first distinction. When somebody humiliates us, what it tells us is the amount of humiliation they feel about themselves. Okay? It has nothing to do with us. All right? So start there. The second thing is more proactive in the environment. Okay? When you get, the next time you go on a sales call or you want to pick up the phone, first of all, you can't just do it, because when you've gone through trauma like we all have, your brain basically splits. The left side of your brain, the part that deals with logic and understanding that allows you to just do it, shuts off. You can't access it. I went through this for years with all my addictions and everything. I could not make the choice because the emotional part of my brain had taken over. It's how it does for every single one of us. It's not a certain type. It's universal for all of us. Our logical brain shuts down. We're stuck in the feeling part of our brain. We can't just do it. We are in pure survival mode. So what happens then is we store all trauma physically, okay? Every emotional injury you've had is stored in you. Here's how you can figure out where it's stored in you. The next time you get in that environment, pay attention. Is your stomach churning? Next, what's tight? What's going on? Where are you feeling the anxiety, the stress, the fear? For you, you mentioned fear. So whatever your situation is, this is for other people too. Pay attention to your body. Here's the other thing it'll tell you. More often than not, this isn't the first time it's happened, because until we reconcile trauma, we put ourselves in positions to repeat it. So it would not shock me that you've had this exact same experience in your childhood. And when you recognize where you're feeling in your body, then think back, when was the first time I felt this? Don't judge it. Let the first thought come up, whatever it is. There's several usually, but you're going to start to see a pattern. Wait a minute. This is where I'm storing it, and this is the result. Okay? Create body awareness. All right, that's number 2. The second, or the third thing I want you to work on is the self-esteem. When you've split like this and no longer yourself, and you're carrying somebody else's feelings about themselves inside you, your self-esteem, and like you said, do I not have the mental makeup to be a sales professional? First of all, you do. You do. And what proves that to me is that you wrote this. That shows me that you have the mental makeup, because that shows me you have the ability to connect to who you are, and you're willing to risk being vulnerable and get help. We all are. We're all screaming to do this. We just want permission. That's all we want. We're looking for permission to talk like this, okay? So you and anyone else has the ability to be a salesperson, and that's an affirmation. What else in your life do you know? Do you just flat out know you have the ability? Every night, write down at least 3 things that you know you have the ability to do. Then I want you to stand in front of a mirror, and this will be incredibly powerful. Stand in front of a mirror and say those things to you, looking directly in your eyes, and watch how hard it is. Because none of us have been taught how to esteem ourselves. It's almost impossible for us to do it. It's incredibly difficult. But that is the road to be able to, next time someone tries to humiliate you, that's your defense. So you go, no, that's you. I'm not going to let you into me. But you have to build that self-esteem that none of us have been taught. Again, none of this is a blame, because we're all scared to death to admit, and because for centuries there's been this just do it mentality passed down. This is what is the result. And this is why it's so imperative that you start addressing it.